I mean, are you serious? 60 years? Since I used to rise and leave at this hour of the day, if not earlier. Music icon Pat Boone is now speaking out about Elvis Presley, the man who defined an era at the age of 91. Boone has decided to make public what actually transpired behind the scenes during rock and roll's heyday, following decades of hearsay, murmurs of rivalry, and carefully held recollections. From intimate exchanges to life-changing events, his candor presents an unvarnished, unanticipated picture of Elvis that has never been seen before. What made him wait so long, though? And what secrets has he kept for so long? These responses are simply astounding. The musical journey of Pat Boone. By recreating rhythm and blues songs originally sung by black performers, Pat Boone took a unique and daring approach to the rock and roll industry at the beginning of his career. During the 1950s, when racial segregation was still a major issue in America, the music industry mirrored these divisions. Boone's renditions of well-known songs, such as I Almost Lost My Mind by Ivory Joe Hunter, Tutti Frutti by Little Richard, and Ain't That a Shame by Fats Domino, brought these new, upbeat sounds to a predominantly white public that might not have otherwise heard them. Not only did Boone's song selection stand out, but so did the way he delivered them. Boone's versions were smooth, clean, and polished in contrast to the original R&B performances, which were frequently bursting with raw energy, fire rhythms, and occasionally suggestive themes. Because of his soft voice and innocent demeanor, these songs were able to win over radio stations and families who were frequently leery of the wild and rebellious nature of early rock and roll. Boone thus served as a sort of conduit, assisting in the assimilation of the innovative new rhythms of black music into the mainstream of American society. I'm not seen as a country man, even though I've recorded more country songs than some other country musicians. Boone's strategy, of course, generated discussions that are still going strong today. He was charged by some reviewers with cultural appropriation, which is the act of repackaging music by black artists for white audiences without giving them due credit or acknowledgement. Because they shed light on the complex history of bass and music in America, these conversations are significant. Notwithstanding these disputes, it is indisputable that Boone's renditions significantly contributed to the dissemination of R&B music, dismantling certain obstacles in a time of racial segregation. The success of Pat Boone was quite remarkable. He sold over 45 million records and had over 38 top 40 singles over his career, numbers that are hard for many artists to equal. His widespread appeal was demonstrated by the 6 singles from these hits that shot to the top of the charts. He was particularly well-liked by families who would have felt uneasy around the louder, more rebellious rock artists of the era because of his romantic ballads and silky crooning technique. Boone was viewed as the safe option, the polished substitute who continued to produce memorable, moving songs. The most amazing thing about Boone's early career was perhaps how much he emulated the famous rock and roll king, Elvis Presley. During the 1950s, Boone was second only to Elvis in terms of chart success, and occasionally he even competed with him for fan adoration. This fierce rivalry demonstrates how much of an impact Boone had on the development of American pop music. His work as a crossover musician, introducing R&B sounds into popular culture, had a long-lasting effect on the music industry and paved the path for upcoming performers. Despite criticism, Boone's early career demonstrates how music can transcend social and racial barriers. Did Pat follow his love on his own, or was music a family tradition? Let's discover the man's and his music's backstory. Pat Boone's ascent. Charles Eugene Boone, better known as Pat Boone, was born on June 1, 1934. In the Florida city of Jacksonville. His life was profoundly influenced by the American South's culture and ideals from the start. Pat grew up surrounded by the traditional, family-oriented vibe of Nashville, Tennessee, a city renowned for its Christian religion and strong sense of community in addition to its music. The foundation of his future self was greatly shaped by these early influences. His upbringing was based on values such as morality, respect, and family devotion, which not only shaped his personal life, but also served as the cornerstone of his public character and career. Pat placed a high value on education from an early age. He studied speech and English at prestigious schools including David Lipscomb College, which is now Lipscomb University, and Columbia University in New York City. Because of these years of education, he was able to create a polished and self-assured manner in both his speech and his demeanor. Pat was obviously more than just a vocalist. He was a performer with grace, poise, and an innate charm that could captivate any crowd. He distinguished himself from many other entertainers who were merely vying for attention with his eloquent demeanor and elegant manners. When the 1950s arrived, America was going through a significant cultural transition. Rock and roll, a brand new sound, was sweeping the nation. This music was energetic, fast-paced, and loud, frequently rough and defiant. People like Elvis Presley, who rocked the music industry with their bold styles and outrageous performances, were in the vanguard of this exciting but occasionally contentious movement. However, Pat Boone entered the picture and offered something quite different, a tidy, innocent image that many Americans could relate to and felt secure. Pat Boone, who resembled the boy next door, had a soft, smooth voice. Teenagers could look up to him without fear, and parents could trust him. He was immediately likable due to his romantic ballads and gentle crooning in his songs. During a period of turmoil and societal change, Boone provided solace and security rather than challenging boundaries. He gained a cherished place in the entertainment industry thanks to his exceptional position, which enabled him to win over millions of fans nationwide. Boone stood out for striking a balance between his personal principles and popularity. Even as the music business around him grew more rebellious and edgy, he refused to compromise his ideals and stayed loyal to his Christian faith and family values. I wonder how a Gentile Christian could have written those things, and the reason is that my family and I grew up in Tennessee. Pat Boone's ascent was a welcome change based on honesty in a decade when many celebrities were notorious for scandal or controversy. Integrity and steadfast faith. Pat Boone's story demonstrates how a person can create enduring relationships with followers of all ages by remaining loyal to their convictions. But was music the only thing that made him famous? Let's examine the other significant ways he made an impact. Beyond the spotlight, Pat Boone's influence extended well beyond his vocals. Through television as much as his music, he swiftly gained popularity and affection in American homes. Boone hosted the Pat Boone Chevy Showroom, a well-liked variety show, from 1957 until 1960. This program, which offered viewers a variety of entertainment with both new and up-and-coming acts and well-known names, was a huge event at the time. The program was exciting and entertaining, and Boone's friendly demeanor contributed to its popularity among families across. He's one of my closest and dearest friends, and he knows that when I'm disappointed, I break out in high. His presence on TV made him more than just a singer. It made him a true household name. But Boone didn't stop there. Like many entertainers, he also wanted to explore acting. He carefully chose his movie roles, starring in lighthearted, feel-good films that matched his wholesome image. One of his most famous movies, April Love in 1957, showcased his charm and gentle style, while Journey to the Center of the Earth in 1959 gave him a chance to be part of an exciting adventure story. What's interesting is that Boone didn't just accept any role that came his way. He turned down parts that didn't fit with his personal beliefs or values, even if that meant fewer acting opportunities. This choice helped him maintain a clean, moral reputation that his fans admired and respected. Outside of the spotlight, Boone's strong Christian faith played a central role in his life. He wasn't just a performer. He was also a writer and speaker who used his influence to share ideas about family, ethics, and spirituality. Boone authored several best-selling books, reaching audiences who connected with his messages about living a good and meaningful life. He traveled widely, speaking at events and gatherings where his faith and conservative views found a welcoming audience. Over time, Boone became known as an important voice for people who valued traditional morals and religious faith in a rapidly changing world. In all these ways, whether on stage, on screen, or through his writing and speaking, Pat Boone built a career that was about more than just fame. He aimed to inspire others by living and working according to principles he believed in deeply. This combination of talent, integrity, and faith made him a unique and lasting figure in American culture. His story shows how an entertainer can touch many parts of society using their platform not just to entertain, but also to encourage and uplift people during times of change and uncertainty. Beyond music and film, Pat Boone used his platform to inspire and uplift people across generations during times of change. But was all this impact overlooked? Let's explore how his remarkable contributions have been honored and celebrated. On November 3rd, the legendary Pat Boone received a heartfelt Lifetime Achievement Award at the prestigious American film market AFM. This special honor, presented by Mediaplay News, recognized Boone's remarkable career that has stretched across an incredible 7 decades. At 88 years old, Boone's story is one of enduring talent, adaptability, and a steadfast commitment to his values, making him a beloved figure not just in entertainment, but in American cultural history. Pat Boone's journey began in the 1950s, a transformative era in music when rock and roll was reshaping the soundscape of the nation. According to Billboard, Boone was the only artist in the late 1950s to have more chart-topping hits than anyone except the king himself, Elvis Presley. His clean-cut image and smooth, melodic voice made him a favorite among families and radio listeners who were looking for a gentler alternative to the rebellious energy sweeping the airwaves. But Boone wasn't just a singer. He was a true entertainer who effortlessly crossed into acting. His film credits include a range of memorable roles that helped define the era, from the thrilling 1959 sci-fi adventure Journey to the Center of the Earth, to the heartwarming 1962 musical State Fair, and later the powerful 1970 drama, The Cross and the Switchblade. These films showcased Boone's versatility and ability to connect with audiences on screen, just as he did through his music. At this recent AFM event, Boone was not only celebrated for his lifetime achievements, but also actively promoting his latest project, The Mulligan. This film, produced by Rick Eldridge, represents one of two RealWorks Studios productions recently acquired by Bridgestone Multimedia Group, highlighting Boone's continued relevance and presence in the entertainment world, even after decades in the industry. The movie enjoyed a wide release, playing on approximately 800 screens across the United States, thanks to a domestic distribution deal with Fathom. Additionally, Cinedigm secured the home video rights for domestic audiences, while Bridgestone took on worldwide home video rights outside of North America. These important distribution agreements were skillfully arranged by Bill Sondheim of Greenfield Media, ensuring The Mulligan reached audiences far and wide. This Lifetime Achievement Award isn't just a celebration of Pat Boone's past successes. It's a recognition of a career that has evolved with the times while staying true to core principles of faith, family, and artistry. Boone's influence extends beyond record sales and box office numbers. He remains a symbol of consistency and integrity in an industry often known for fleeting fame and controversy. Even now, in his late 80s, Boone continues to create, inspire, and share his message through both film and music, proving that true legends never fade, they only grow stronger with time. 7 decades in the spotlight haven't dimmed Pat Boone's legacy of grace and talent. But beyond the gold records and glowing headlines lies a story few have heard: his quiet, complex bond with Elvis Presley. Let's explore this deeply personal, untold chapter. Behind the fame. Now well into his 90s, Pat Boone has begun to open up more than ever before about his complicated relationship with Elvis Presley, one of the most famous and often misunderstood icons in music history. For decades, the media loved to spin stories about rivalry and competition between the two stars. But Boone's own memories paint a very different picture. Rather than rivals, he speaks with genuine respect and deep admiration for Elvis's natural talent, incredible work ethic, and the electric energy that he brought to every stage he stepped on. Behind the flashing cameras and roaring crowds, Boone remembers quieter moments where he and Elvis shared real friendship. They talked openly about their common faith, the pressures of fame, and the personal struggles they both faced. These private conversations revealed a more human side to the superstar, one that few ever got to see. Boone's reflections carry a strong sense of compassion, especially as he looks back on Elvis's painful battles with addiction and loneliness. He feels a deep sadness for a man who was crushed under the weight of superstar expectations and the relentless spotlight. As a lifelong Christian, Boone believes Elvis was searching for peace and comfort in his own way, but often found himself trapped in a world that cared more about fame and fortune than healing and spiritual growth. To Boone, Elvis wasn't just a legendary singer or performer. He was a brilliant, sensitive soul weighed down by personal demons, struggles that lay hidden behind his dazzling public image. Looking back on his own extraordinary journey, recording over 2,600 songs, selling millions of records, and influencing countless musicians, Pat Boone stands as a powerful example of talent paired with resilience and honesty. His willingness to speak openly about Elvis, as well as his own life and beliefs, is more than just setting the record straight or settling old scores. It's a sincere tribute to friendship, faith, and a lifelong devotion to the art of music. Boone's story shows how understanding, kindness, and truth have the power not only to heal wounds, but also to inspire others. Even after so many years in the music industry, Boone continues to live with integrity and grace, proving that true artistry goes far beyond fame and success. It's about the heart and the journey behind the music. In sharing these memories, Boone invites us to look past the headlines and see the human stories behind the stars. His reflections offer a fresh perspective on Elvis Presley, not just as a music icon, but as a man who faced challenges that many never understood. Through this openness, Boone honors both his friend and his own legacy, leaving us with a message of compassion, faith, and the enduring power of music to connect us all. Boone's heartfelt reflections on Elvis Presley reveal more than just a friendship. They uncover a deep, shared journey marked by faith, fame, and humanity. Now, let us delve into how Pat surprises the world. Reinvention and risked decades into a career known for smooth, gentle music, Pat Boone took the world by surprise in the 1990s with a daring new album called In a Metal. Mood No More. Mr. Nice Guy. Fans and critics alike didn't know what to expect when Boone decided to step far outside his usual style. Instead of sticking with the soft, romantic songs he was famous for, he boldly chose to cover heavy metal classics. Songs known for their loud, powerful, and sometimes aggressive sound. This was a complete change from the clean-cut image that had made him a household name for years. But Boone didn't just copy the original metal songs. He gave them his own smooth, polished twist. He took these fierce, hard-hitting rock tunes and transformed them into something entirely new and fresh, mixing the energy of heavy metal with his signature easy-listening style. The result was both surprising and fascinating. A clever blend of two very different musical worlds. To add even more shock value, Boone showed up at the American Music Awards dressed in black leather. This look was a stark contrast to his usual wholesome, family-friendly appearance. It was a bold statement that said, "I'm willing to take risks and have some fun with my image." Boone was clearly not afraid to step out of his comfort zone or to poke fun at himself. His willingness to challenge expectations made people pay attention, even if some were unsure what to make of it. The reactions to In a Metal Mood were mixed. Some longtime fans felt confused or even put off by the unexpected shift, struggling to accept Boone in this new role. Others, however, embraced the album's creativity and humor, admiring Boone's courage to try something completely different. Over time, the album gained a special following, becoming a cult favorite among music lovers who appreciated its unique charm. It also introduced Boone to a brand new audience, people who might never have listened to his earlier work, but found this fresh approach exciting. What makes In a Metal Mood truly interesting isn't just the music itself, but what it says about Pat Boone as an artist. Even after many years in the entertainment industry, Boone proved he wasn't stuck in the past or unwilling to change. Instead, he showed a willingness to grow, experiment, and surprise the world. His bold move challenged the idea that older artists need to stick with what's safe or fade quietly from the spotlight. Boone's In a Metal Mood serves as a powerful reminder that great artists keep evolving and pushing boundaries, no matter how long they've been around. It's a celebration of creativity, courage, and the joy of not taking oneself too seriously, even for a legend who had already achieved so much. Pat Boone's bold move showed us that real artists never stop growing. No matter how long they've been around, they can always try new things, take chances, and surprise the world. It is time to unveil Pat Boone's unforgettable impact. Beyond the hits, Pat Boone's influence in the world of music and beyond stretches far deeper than just the number of records he sold or the many hits he had on the charts. In an industry often marked by scandals, wild behavior, and quick rises and falls, Boone stood out for something rare and remarkable. He maintained a clean, honest, and respected reputation throughout his entire career. He wasn't only admired for his smooth, soothing voice, but also for living a life that matched the wholesome, family-friendly image he shared with his fans and the public. Boone's personal life mirrored his strong values. He married his high school sweetheart, Shirley Foley, and together they built a loving marriage that lasted an amazing 65 years until Shirley passed away in 2019. In the often turbulent and fast-changing world of show business, this kind of long-lasting, stable marriage is truly uncommon. Together, they raised 4 daughters, including Debbie Boone, who went on to carve out her own place in music history with the hit song, "You Light Up My Life." This family story added a special and meaningful chapter to Pat Boone's legacy, showing that his influence stretched beyond his own work and passed on to the next generation. But Pat Boone was much more than just a singer or entertainer. Over the years, he became a symbol of traditional American values: wholesomeness, integrity, and family. At a time when many artists were focused mainly on chasing fame and fortune, Boone reminded people that an artist's character and personal life were just as important as their talent. His deep Christian faith and devotion to family shaped every choice he made, both on the stage and in his private life. This strong foundation kept him steady and grounded throughout the many ups and downs he experienced during his long career. Boone's dedication did not stop at music and family. He used his celebrity status as a platform to make a positive difference in the world. Through his work in philanthropy, he supported causes that reflected the values he cared deeply about, proving that celebrities could use their influence to help others in meaningful ways. Additionally, Pat Boone's involvement in politics showed his passion for standing up for what he believed in, whether that was faith, family, or the well-being of his community, especially during times when society was changing quickly. In all these ways, Pat Boone's legacy is about much more than just entertainment. It tells the story of a life lived with honesty, love, and purpose. His example shows that it's possible to succeed in the spotlight without sacrificing your personal values or integrity. Instead, Boone demonstrated that an artist can shine brightly while staying true to what really matters: faith, family, and making the world a kinder, better place. This is the story of a man whose influence touched countless people, not only through the music he shared, but through the kind of person he chose to be. Pat Boone's lasting impact is a powerful reminder that true greatness comes from the heart and the values we hold dear, inspiring generations to come. So, what do you think about Pat Boone's revelation about Elvis Presley? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.